Hey, this is Mark Erelli, and you're watching the Songwriter Sessions here on RCTV.
Hi, and welcome into the Songwriter Sessions. I'm your host, Ryan Panett. Today we have an artist in the studio who actually comes from our own backyard. His name's Mark Erelli, and he's been making albums for over 10 years now. And he's here to talk about his music and also play some songs for us. So let's get started, and Mark's going to play his original song, Imaginary Wars.
Where I lived back when I was a kid, I played G.I. Joe beneath the tall pine trees, and I'd fight imaginary wars till my mom called from our back porch, and I'd come home covered in that pine pitch from my head down to my knees. Too big to wrap my arms around, surely older than I could count. Must have been there since the Mayflower crossed the sea. They've been through blizzards and hurricanes, summer droughts and freezing rain, and pines would live forever, at least that's how it seemed to me. So what's become of the old pine woods? It's all gone and there's a brand new neighborhood. All for a buck to cut down all those trees. They subdivided all of my fondest memories. When those trucks came from my woods, I did everything I could, and the war was real when school let out that June. I ripped down flags and I pulled up stakes, but what difference can one boy make? Them pines still fell like thunder on a summer afternoon. So what's become of the old pine woods? It's all gone and there's a brand new neighborhood. All for a buck to cut down all those trees. They subdivided all of my fondest memories. And I never became friends with the families that moved in. They were different from us, or so it seemed. I grew up and moved away, and I just go home on holidays. But those tall and tangled pines, they're still falling in my dreams. Now we all want the greenest lawn and a country club where we belong, and an SUV to get us there in style. But we don't keep track of what we've lost. We can't calculate the cost. When there's no place left for a boy's imagination to run wild. So what's become of the old pine woods? It's all gone, and it's gone for good. All for a buck to cut down all those trees. Subdivided all of my fondest memories. Always subdivided all of my fondest memories.
Thank you very much, Mark. And thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks, man.
Returning to the old stomping grounds, Reading, Massachusetts. I appreciate you coming on.
Thanks for having me.
So let's get into it. How did Mark Erelli, as a Reading boy growing up, get to where Mark Erelli is now? Explain your musical journey, if you will.
How long a show is this? Well, it started here with musical theater at the junior high. I went to Coolidge, and Bill Enslow, who is at the high school now, was at the junior high then, and I got into musical theater there, and so it started with the singing involved with that, and then in high school, I figured I could already sing. I really just, wanted to play guitar and, be a rock and roller like I saw on MTV, except I couldn't play guitar. So I started to play drums in high school bands, and it was, through that real love of, rock and roll and playing live music for people, that I was kind of living out that dream, right starting out in Reading. Yeah.
And so you went on and played music through high school, and then you got to college, and then you went to graduate school to get your master's degree in evolutionary biology.
Yeah,
correct?
Evolutionary biology. Yeah, yeah. I was into biology, which was another thing that I kind of got from high school here in Reading. Leo Kenny was my bio teacher, and very influential in my life. And so those two kind of interests, music and science, were kind of duking it out for the next 6 or 7 years, and by the end of graduate school, it was one of those things where I basically had to decide, was I going to try this now while I was, young and all that, or was I going to sit around when I was older and, think, gosh, I wish I'd tried that out, and I just decided to go for it.
Now, was there a specific moment that made you go down the music route?
I guess it was the first time that I applied to graduate school towards the tail end of college and got and didn't get in, and I was like, oh, this is the universe talking, and my advisor at the time said, actually it's not the universe, it's some departmental politics at the university where I applied. You should apply down here at UMass Amherst. And so I ended up going to graduate school at UMass Amherst, but going into it with the express, kind of intent that this was going to be something I did for a couple of years, and when I came out the other end, I was going to play music, and that's what I did. And I haven't, I don't even know where the master's degree is. Actually, it's probably at my parents' house.
Mark is going to play a couple songs that reflect home. Yeah. First one's going to be Basement Days. Can you give a little bit about?
Yeah, it's kind of weird to play, this song in the town where, it was kind of written. This song grows directly out of jam sessions I had on Dana Road at my friend Tim's house. And, we would go down there in the basement where all the instruments were set up and just do the best we could to destroy our hearing with classic rock and roll, and had a great time doing it.
Awesome. All right, take it away, Mark.
Timmy played bass and his brother had a Mexican strap. I was on drums and couldn't find the one, but I only sang a little flat. Fake wood paneling, linoleum floor, pillow stuffed under the upstairs door. Try to learn a few chords and start a band. Take me back to those basement days, Stairway to Heaven and Purple Haze, Pinball Wizard and Born to Run. I can't get no satisfaction. We're lost in music down in that room, and it might as well have been the dark side of the moon. You can burn out or fade away, but you can't get back to those basement days. We learned enough songs and we thought that it sounded alright, so we rented out a local church basement on a Saturday night. All our friends were there, we were living the dream. till the fire marshal arrived on scene and pulled the plug as we set off the alarm with our dry ice machine. Take me back to those basement days, stairway to heaven in purple haze, whipping post, aqua lung, I can't get no satisfaction. We're lost in the music, down in that room, and it might as well have been the dark side of the moon. You can burn out or fade away, but you can't get back to those basement days. Oh, give me one more shot at 16 years old, back when I still believed that rock and roll was gonna save my soul. Now Tim is in computers and his brother is a lawyer right here. Oh, who'd have guessed I'd be the one still crazy after all these years? And though it only comes in flashes every now and again, I get a little taste of how it was back then. It keeps me going each time I feel like packing it in. Oh, take me back to those basement days, staring at heaven in purple haze, sugar magnolia, here comes the sun. I still know every word comfortably numb. We're lost in the music, down in that room, and it might as well have been the dark side of the moon. You can burn out or fade away, but you can't get back to those, get me back to those, take me back to those basement days. Basement days.
All right. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
So that song's all about growing up, playing
Absolutely.
music. And there's actually a music video from that song on YouTube from
Yes.
Battle of the Bands that was actually filmed at the old high school auditorium.
That's right. I got my brother-in-law to digitize the footage that I had on VHS, and I painstakingly pseudo-synchronized some of the cymbal hits and some of the singing. I had an absolute blast making that video. I don't know if anybody got as much enjoyment out of it as I did, but I watched that thing forever. I had a great time kind of reliving those days.
Awesome. And the next song you're going to play for us is August.
Yeah, this is kind of that last song was growing up. This song is kind of more now, and let's see how lucky we get with tuning. All right, we got pretty lucky. So yeah, this is a song called August.
Well, Katie did fiddling on a summer's eve, brown bats circling round the old house eaves. I can taste the ocean on a cool salt breeze, blowing through a torn screen door. Can't believe I let the summer slip away again, like a watermelon juice dripping down my chin. There might be light enough for one last swim if we hurry on down to the shore. A fool would ask for more. A fool would ask for more. Bullfrog thrumming like a banjo string. Thought I heard a whippoorwill starting to sing as the moon spilled silver over everything. Ain't that what the moon is for? Back porch drunk on a jug of red wine, picking on a tune with some friends of mine, and the music's floating up into the bottle brush pines. There ain't nobody keeping score. A fool would ask for more. Oh, a fool would ask for more. And I ain't restless tonight. Oh, I got you and the moon so bright. Yeah, I'm alright. Baby, I'm alright. Now the laughter's still lingering in the evening air. We'll clean the bottles up tomorrow, they'll still be there. Turn off the lights, let's go upstairs. Careful of the creaking door. Such beautiful boys, they're a picture of peace. Let's stand here a minute just watching them sleep. God bless this little vigil we keep. A fool would ask for more. A fool would ask for more. A fool would ask for more. A fool would ask for more.
Thank you very much, Mark. So, what I gathered from listening to your music is a lot of you, there doesn't seem to be any superficial lyrics. Everything seems to come really from the heart and real life experiences. So when you're going to sit down and write a song, what's the process like? Where do you draw from? Or
well, the process used to be a lot more regimented. Earlier on, I used to just sit down every day with a cup of coffee and stare out the window with my guitar and a notebook in front of me and just kind of wait for something to kind of pass through, you know. And, you know, if you spend all your time doing that, you'll get something eventually, as long as you're kind of living a full life, you know, and observing things and seeing things and living things worth writing about. These days, it's way more haphazard than that, with, you know, kids and all the gigs and all the different kind of things that come along with, you know, being a dad and a musician. It's much more just catch as catch can, and sometimes
Right.
I'll be, you know, driving down the road and, you know, singing something into my phone or writing it down in a notebook, or, you know, the worst is right before I go to sleep. Sometimes I'll get an idea and I'll think, I'm not going to remember that in the morning. You know, I can't take a chance, and I got to get out of bed and go downstairs and write it down. So
Right.
It's a little more just, you know, kind of catch it when I can now.
And having kids obviously definitely affected the songwriting. A song that immediately comes to mind for me is Once.
Yeah, absolutely.
What changed in your songwriting after becoming a father and
Everything. You know, I thought I had. I thought I had something to lose, you know, maybe before, you know, and I'd write about my broken heart or whatever, you know, and none of that. I mean, it feels like it matters at the time, but in a sense, it doesn't matter because it was just me. It's, you know, if something went wrong, it was just me. If something were to go wrong now, you know, there's people kind of depending on me.
Right.
So, you know, the stakes just become raised, you know, way higher than you could have ever really imagined before you had kids. And the trick is to just kind of to let that happen and not feel paralyzed by it, you know,
Right.
let it into the writing and not try and pretend that it's not there. So
yeah.
I love it when I can write a song that's not that's a little less serious and that's not about that kind of stuff, you know. But it's, you know, more often than not, it makes its way in there somehow.
Right. And you've had experience working with, in addition to what you've done solo, you've had experience working with other musicians. Some things that come to mind is the album you did of murder ballads, right. 7 Curses with Jeffrey Folkalt, touring with Lori McKenna, yep. Your current project now, Barnstar.
Yep.
What have those experiences given you as a musician? If you can just reflect on everything that's gone on, working solo, working with different
yeah.
things, playing in part of a band. You play multiple instruments, you're not just a guitar
yeah.
and mandolin.
Yeah. You know, all those things, they've taken me to places, you know, kind of musically and geographically that I probably would have never gotten to with just, you know, me as a little folk singer. So everywhere from, you know, the Grand Ole Opry to Royal Albert Hall in London, these, you know, and Boston Garden. I mean, these are stages that I never thought I would ever see from the stage. Right. You know, so playing with all those different people in those different situations, they really, it's kind of broadened my horizons, you know, literally, and I also get to stand beside some of the best, you know, musicians and songwriters that I think we have today. And to my mind, that's kind of like, I mean, I'm in the band, but I'm also kind of getting a master class. You know, if I'm sitting this close to Lori McKenna or Josh Ritter or Jeffrey Folkalt, even though they may not be household names, you know, I feel they're some of the best artists out there. And to get to watch what they do and contribute to it right. from this close, you know, I can't help but learn something from that, you know, and I do every time. So it's a real kind of kick and a real honor at the same time.
Right. So what's it like, the album 7 Curses?
Yeah.
So you and Jeffrey sat down to write out some murder ballads.
Well, what we wanted to do was kind of document the way that we sing together, because sometimes when you get together to sing with someone, the chemistry doesn't always add up to kind of more than the sum of its parts, you know? Sometimes yep. it sounds like 2 people singing a song together, and what you really want is the sound of 2 people sounding like one, right. kind of crazy thing that you couldn't get on your own. So we really wanted to document that, because we have that kind of vocal blend. And you know, we could have done a record of love songs or country songs or whatever, but we're both really drawn to strong character songs and strong stories. And you know, there's just not a lot of great stories where somebody doesn't, you know, die. Right. Shakespeare, all yep. of Shakespeare. It seems like everybody dies in the end of, you know, most of Shakespeare's tragedies. So you know, it wasn't like we set out to be intentionally kind of dark and brooding. It was just, we love these characters and these story songs, and a lot of those songs have these kinds of, you know, really heavy tragedy in them.
Yep. So now Mark's going to play for us another song. This next song is called Charlottesville.
Yeah, this is a song from Barnstar, the bluegrass project we were talking about earlier. It sounds a little more singer-songwritery when I do it by myself, but here we go, Charlottesville.
December came with her ice and snow, then left me with nothing but my pride. She bent me down to the ground so low, like a birch by the highway side. January made me second guess kids in t-shirts walking home from school. Just a temporary thaw at best. Come February, I was still your fool. Somewhere down south, maybe Charlottesville, that's where I wanna go. Where the water tastes like wine and the climate suits my clothes. Going down that lonesome road to a town where no one knows your name. she will, though some days I'm not so sure. With her green amnesia and her daffodils, there's nothing that she cannot cure. Somewhere down south, maybe Charlottesville, that's where I wanna go. Where the water tastes like wine and the climate suits my clothes. Going down that lonesome road to a town where no one knows your name. I wish you well, that probably don't seem like much, but we both know it's true. Of all the ways two people can fall out of love, babe, I never quit on you. No, I won't miss all this dirty snow and these skies so gray. I'll pack the car and hit the pike tonight, find some place to sleep along the way. Oh, somewhere down south, maybe Charlottesville, that's where I wanna go. Where the water tastes like wine and the climate suits my clothes. Going down that lonesome road to a town where no one knows your name.
All right, thank you, Mark. So we're almost out of time, but if you could give your one personal best music experience, what would that be?
Wow, that's really hard to say. A lot of times, some of the best musical experiences are the ones that almost hardly anyone witnesses. You know, you're traveling in the middle of nowhere, and you have a show, and you know, maybe a lot of people don't come, and for whatever reason, you just have an amazing night, and you think, my God, you know, nobody saw that hardly. You know, 10 people, 15 people. So, you know, those aren't the ones. Those aren't the real marquee moments, but those are the ones for me that I kind of take pride in, because it's not just about like there's a big audience or a big stage or whatever.
Right.
It's about the music, and then you happen to hit it right that night, and it's gone.
Gotcha. All right, well, I'd like to thank you for coming on the show. I
Thanks for
appreciate
having
you
me.
being on here. Be sure to check out for more Songwriter Sessions coming up. Mark is going to take us out with his song, Everything in Ruin.
There's a junked out truck stuck in the mud down in the valley where the low fields flood every spring when the river jumps its banks. And a few stubborn leaves clinging to the bow by the wing or wheel, the whole deal's gone south. Only one's left, got no place else to go. Oh, everything in ruin now, ruin now, ruin now. Everything in ruin now, soon to be renewed. Frost on windows, fill of green, and I could use a little wild card on my sleeve just in case old man winter calls my bluff. heart smells like snow, the sky turns black, foaming cloudy as a cataract. But all I gotta do is make it through these next few months. Oh, everything in ruin now, ruin now, ruin now. Everything in ruin now, soon to be renewed. Everything in ruin now, ruin now, ruin now. Everything in ruin now, soon to be renewed.